So, welcome back, and remember this. Oop. Well, there we go. It actually works. I wasn't expecting to actually do that right now, but I was going to say I was going to lead up to it, and say that I got it done. And what I did was, as I said, I serviced the movement, but with this later backplate on it, so I could have this repeater in there. Hang on, I need to have a cough. And it's still got its front plate, which is dated 1970 on there, which I didn't even notice. UK 1 1970, or just 70. And it's got some brass wheels in it, which is quite nice. And it's got a bit of red nail varnish to hold the hairspring in. I've also kept the original knobs. I managed to get the time knob off as well, so I could have both matching knobs on there. But otherwise, everything else is as it was, apart from the fact that it's working, which is now working very well. And as you heard, the repeater works as well, and it's not a very long repeating period, which is good, because otherwise, if it's just repeating and it only cuts off for like a millisecond, then there's not really any point. One thing I did have to do though is I had to modify this thing, because the old one had an extra protrusion on there, which was just getting blocked by this. So I just had to cut it a bit short to try and match the design of the one that the other movement had. I don't have it at hand right now, but I just sort of cut it down a little bit, and now it works perfectly. So apart from that, it's all original, and it's just a cool thing. So now I can make a clock that probably never existed, and that is a Goodmorning repeater. It won't say it on the dial, but we'll know. It'll be a nice surprise. So I'll put the bell in, and it is a very, very loud bell. Screws. Same story with the bell inside, like the jock and a couple of the other ones. Sleep meters. Basically, I think all of the non-bends from this time had this bell inside. So it goes on well, and I'll put it back inside the case now, and then we'll see the result. So put that in like that. Once these are back together, they are very, very satisfying, because once they're working, they run very, very well, and the cases they put them in are actually pretty nice. They're not expensively made or anything, but they are bolted to the back, and they are very sturdy. Speaking of sturdy, the base has been secured on. It's not perfectly secure, but it is definitely not going to rotate anymore. It does wibble, maybe a couple of degrees either side, but that's actually what the brand new in stock, old stocker one I've got does, which is the same model. So I don't think we can improve much on that, but I'll just show you after I've tightened this one up. Yeah, that base is much, much more secure. And it was basically a few well-placed hammer taps and a few little jigs and all kinds of stuff. This thing here, I don't know what it's from, it's just like a brass tube. It is the most useful thing, because you can drive on bushes and stuff with it. You can tap on knobs and all kinds of stuff, and you can put it around stuff. For example, I actually put that inside here when I was hammering it. I had it inside and hooked it on like that, and then I hammered around there, and that sort of pushed it back together, because someone had pulled on this in the past and it sort of deformed a bit. I think I got it pretty much back to shape. So yeah, the base is now pretty secure. This is all clean and it's working, so I'll just tighten this up a bit more before I put the dial on. Aha! I nearly forgot the time to take it all out again, because I forgot a very cool feature that this clock has. Well, it's not a very cool feature, it's just a feature really. which is the sort of fin button on the top. Because these movements, apart from the bends, or maybe some of the bends, baby bends had it, were equipped with a little pulling knob on the back like the 66s had. However, this model, much like the Lark, which is a 66 clock, has a little button push on the top, like that. And I think that's not going to interfere with anything. Here's where it all comes apart. No. Right, there we go. Tighten this one up again. Oop. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Hopefully it all comes together after I put the dial on and everything, and it becomes a very good functional thing. It should keep time, but we'll find out. So there we have it, the reassembled mechanism. So let's see it working before I put the dial on, see all the mechanics of it. So can wind it up a little bit more, because these have a stop works on them, so the alarm can only ring for so long before it cuts out. So as you can see, the button pops out of the top like that, off, on, as they do. And I'll turn it to the right time, and I'll put my thumb on the bell after a couple of seconds because it is very loud, but I'll let you hear a couple of rings. There we go, that's the first period of repetition. Hopefully we can get a couple more. Main reason I'm holding the bell is I don't want to wake up everyone else. Well, not that they're asleep, but they'll get disturbed anyway. Hopefully this works. Oh. No, I thought we'll go for one more after this. So yeah, they are pretty short repetitions, especially in terms of the gaps between them. Sorry, I've got a weird sniffy nose today. Oh. But one more repetition time. There we go, it's gone down my throat now. Whenever you're ready. Ta-da! Yeah, works very, very well. So let's put the dial on now. Alright, it's got those tabs, but we don't fold them over, so I can put the movement in without putting this in first. There we go. I don't know how they would have done it in the factory. Probably bent the tabs over, to be honest. They were bent over in this one. I don't think it's ever been serviced. But either way works. So, hand. And you know the drill at this point, really. If you don't, maybe you should watch some of my older videos, but I'll tell you anyway. A good way of setting the hands to the right time on an alarm clock is to set the alarm hand on, put it on any angle, and then turn the hand knob backwards until the alarm hand starts to move with it, and then put the hour hand on where the alarm hand is, and then put the minute hand on when the hour hand's lined up with the hour. That works with most of these. Especially, you even see it in, there's a video on, I can't remember what it is, National Library of Scotland, I think, or something like that, scotlandarchive.org, I don't know what it's called. There's a video of the Smiths factory in Scotland, the alarm clock factory, and they actually do that. They turn the hand knob backwards and you can see both hands moving when they're setting the alarms to test with. So I'll just give this a quick wipe down. So, plastic lens is on, and then it'll be back in and ready to test for timekeeping and that. And why does this not? There we go. It didn't feel like it was going in, but it is. Lots of clicks and clacks. Right, we're in. Ooh, yes. So, the time in real life is... Oh, it's pretty late, actually. Set the alarm first. Set the alarm to 7 when I want to wake up in the morning. I'll tell you now, I want an early morning. Let's set it to past. So just beyond where it clicked. And the annoying thing about these is if the winding keys were lined up in that direction, then it makes... you can't fit... unless you've got really small fingers, you can't really fit them to turn the time. So you've got to wind it up a little bit. But if it's already maximum wound up, then you're going to be a little bit... But finger jam is over. So, this will wake me up in the morning, hopefully, at around about 6:30, if it runs and keeps time. I probably shouldn't have set the alarm now, and I usually just give it a day to check for timekeeping. So we'll do that now. Sorry, alarm, you can wait another day. But, look what we've done. Everyone, friends, viewers and thingies of the channel, we have, well, I have created before you a repeating Westlock's Good Morning, the likes of which you may never see, unless of course you've actually made one yourself, or you've got one for some reason that repeats. I bet someone else had the same idea as me, because I don't think they ever made these. But yeah, a really, a clock that shouldn't exist, how creepy. But yeah, this is going to be next to actually, none of the experiments I have except for this one have lasted. For example, the double power Smiths one, that was taken back to an alarm clock. Hopefully this one, as it is actually a useful item, I'm going to keep it like this and let this be a repeating clock. Even if there's a Big Ben repeater that goes, I can't repeat, this is staying as it is, because this is so nice. And I actually have spare parts anyway, like this, plastic stuff. All of these parts from various dead Westlock's clocks and things. Mainly from that big box of movements I got, because some of the hairsprings were done, and if a hairspring goes, in my opinion, you probably won't find a hairspring that's quite right again. And there are plenty of the clocks around, so just use the movement for parts and help prepare other clocks, which are slightly less than good. You can make them good with spare parts. So that's enough for today. Look what we came out with today. A massive improvement, if you ask me. Why did you ask me? Aha.